Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier, and this video will be a reaction video review type of thing to the film Family Camp, which is about an hour 45 minutes, I think, maybe an hour 40 minutes long. Um, Family Camp. Uh, when I saw the previews for this, just a couple of times, I had a I was thinking it was basically like a reboot of the Great Outdoors film from the late '80s. John Candy, Dan Aykroyd, and their families uh, kind of go to a camp, and I think they're brothers-in-law in that movie or something. So that movie is a classic. Now this movie is kind of in the spirit, somewhat, of the Great Outdoors. The basic premise. There's this one family, the Ackermans, I believe. They go off to this family camp. The father, uh, people are very excited about my review here. They're screaming, but the father has failed to do something online, register online, and so you mind? And so they don't have their cabin set up for them. So instead, the family has to use a yurt. Now, if you don't know what a yurt is usually a circular outdoor kind of glorified tent. Some people actually live in yurts full time, so I'm not putting that down, but it's just kind of interesting. Yurt number three is what we see throughout this film, and it's the family of the Ackermans get put together with the Sanders family. And there was a little bit of a establishing business that the two families almost bunked into each other on the drive over because the Ackerman saw the Sanders guy's car that had the license plate blessed. I don't know why these people have to be so loud. I'm trying to do my Mike Sense to movie review, and these children are screaming for no reason. I mean, that's one thing I don't like about kids is they just make noises. You know what I mean? Like, why do you have to make noise? Why? What is your yelling doing for the world? Um, so, moving forth, uh, I like the movie. I mean, it was a Christian movie. Kind of, and once again, I always find myself in these films that are kind of Christian movies in disguise. Like it doesn't advertise. It's a Christian movie. There's no church scenes per se, but the whole thing is very Jesus oriented references and so forth in the movie. But I'll say this: I haven't seen a whole lot of Christian comedies. You know, I mean, normally there are these kind of inspirational tales of someone dying and go to heaven, or something happens, or somebody's faith is tested. In this one, it's more comedic. There are some heartwarming scenes and some themes of these usually these marriages. The men have to pay more attention to their women is kind of the recurring theme in this film. And you gotta let your kids do their own thing. You can't expect them to do what you want them to do and all that crap. So basically, just the men of the family are being shown how stupid they are, which is kind of a recurring theme in a lot of films, is how bad the men are, how bad the husbands are, how bad the fathers are. So this movie kind of does that as well. But it's still good. It's comedic. It's fun. Um, you know, uh, what else can I say? The guy, the lead guy, Ackerman, Tommy Ackerman's the character's name. Interesting that the two lead actors, uh, Tommy Ackerman and Eddie James, was either Eddie James played Eddie Sanders. Both guys were kind of like a familiar vibe, but I don't think I've seen either one of them in anything before. The Tommy Woodward guy playing Tommy Ackerman had a very Ed Helms esque look. Kind of looked like a slightly more muscular Ed Helms. Maybe Ed Helms plus 20 pounds of muscle mass and maybe 2 inches of height, or actually maybe not, because what's his name? Ed Helms is kind of uh, tall himself. Ahmad or Ahmed? I think it's Ahmad. How you doing, buddy? Is it kind of like the way the New Day or like a Christian Pentecostal stable, but don't directly say it. Sorry for the wrestling comparison. That's a great point, and that's something that's a good one. Good point, Ahmed, because I've never heard that said before. But yeah, the New Day are like a Christian Pentecostal. Who was that guy? Stomp. Remember that song from the late '90s, like '97? Stomp. Kirk James or something. What was that guy's name? Kirk James, something like that. And they had the stomp. And it was kind of like that. Is kind of a New Day shtick. Oh, my hair is all crazy. Yeah, and the throwing out the pancakes and everything. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Um, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I guess a little more transparent with the Christian stuff in this movie because they do talk about Jesus and forgiveness and all that good stuff. But it's basically layered as a film that anybody can enjoy. And for some reason I wanted to go see this movie. I also want to see the Firestarter movie, but I was almost going to see them both, but the timing didn't work out. So I'll probably see Firestarter tomorrow or Wednesday. I know that it's on Peacock and I can watch it at home, but you know me, Ahmed. I like to go to the theater. I like the big screen experience. Once again, although people get upset when I say this, I was the only one in the theater today, which is not surprising. It's a Monday. I saw a late matinee, really weird time to see a movie. I also got the bad screen at this particular theater. Screen 17 is like the bad auditorium because it's not the auditorium, it's fine. It's the actual movie screen. But it looks like, somebody beat it with a fucking a tennis racket or something because like the top of the screen, it's all like kind of fuzzy, like it's blurry or something. Like they did a bad job of putting the screen on the wall. So now there's like there's a whole patch, like probably a 4 foot patch of like poor pixelation on the screen. So I don't know what the hell's going on, but something about that Auditorium 17 is the worst here. Hey, producer Chris checks in. Yeah, Mike Messier actually, Chris. Hope all is well. I'm doing pretty good, buddy. Good to see you, producer Chris. Yeah, Stomp, Kirk James. That's okay, buddy. You're thinking of the hockey player. I taught him everything he knows, and he hasn't given me a commission for those Stanley Cups. But do remember that Messier won a cup without Gretzky, but Gretzky never won a cup without Messier. And that's okay, producer Chris. Good to see you here, buddy. Some new contributors to the live interaction. I appreciate it. So overall, as far as this movie goes, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. You know what I mean? It was a good way to kill the day. Well, once again, a little bit like it's kind of like the easy thing to do in these family movies is that the bumbling dad has to be taught a lesson about how to respect his wife and how to be a better dad and be present. I mean, we've seen a lot of that stuff before. Ahmed chiming in again. It's been a long time since I've been to the theater. I think you're reigniting my craving for a good movie at the cinema. Very good. But that will have to wait a while. Oh, congratulations. That's awesome, Ahmed. Congratulations. Congratulations on the 7-week-old baby. If you want to put a shout out, I don't know if you had a daughter or a son. Congratulations. That's great. A scale of 1 to 10, Chris, what do you think? Well, here's what I do, Chris. And I do the same thing for wrestling ratings when I rate the wrestling matches. I don't grade like comparing this movie, Family Camp, to say Citizen Kane, or Goodfellas or Highlander. You know what I mean? I'll give this movie a rating like how good it could be compared to the best potential version of this movie, if that makes any sense. And then I'll give it a straight, thought, state one, my own enjoyment. Yes, congratulations. Shout out to Ahmed's newborn. It's awesome. I will give this movie for what it could be. Give it a solid 8. Like I don't know what exactly I would do to improve it. Um, some of the storyline stuff in this movie is a little tough. Yeah, I'm hearing you on that, buddy. And as a matter of fact, I'm overdue to explain why I haven't been doing some wrestling videos from Monty and the Pharaoh YouTube channel. You can see my back catalog of the AEW wrestling rants, but you know what I mean? So I give it a 8 for what it could have been, but I don't really know how I would improve it. As you know, I make movies myself. And for the movie, as far as my own enjoyment, I give it a six. A six. It's a strong six. I mean, it's almost a seven, but I give it a six. And why would I not give it higher? Probably just because I felt like it was kind of like The Great Outdoors without actually being an officially endorsed sequel, if that makes any sense. Like, I felt it was greatly inspired by The Great Outdoors, a Christian version of The Great Outdoors. If they did things like, I know that sometimes these Christian groups, they'll take a movie and they'll censor it, and then they'll make like the Christian version, which I don't know if I agree with that either. Or they'll take, so like, oh, you don't need Ice T or Ice Cube. Here's DC Talk. Well, that's kind of like this for The Great Outdoors. On a scale from Caddyshack 2 to Godfather, would you give it a Batman Returns? Um, that's a good comparison, buddy. That's good. I like that. I mean, it's, what can I say? It was something to kill the time. I'll be honest, from that especially, if you haven't gone to the theater in a while, I don't think that Family Camp is the movie you have to go run out and see on the big screen. You could obviously watch it at home. You might want to watch it with your family now, as you're a family man. So this will give you some appreciation, and it'll set you straight to be a good father. You know what I mean? Which is the whole point of this movie, is to make men feel bad. But I don't know. I mean, if you were going to go see a movie that's still out now, I would probably suggest The Batman. If you can, I know as a new dad, it might be hard to carve out 3 hours because it's a 3 hour movie. But if you can, go see Batman in the biggest screen you can. I saw it in D box once. D box is when the seats actually shake, so that was pretty badass. Um, so I would just see the Batman, not Batman Returns. Was that a Clooney one or a Kilmer one? I get them all mixed up. I was trying to think about that, producer Chris, because I think about these sequels, these Marvel universes, and all this stuff, and then I was thinking about the Batman. I couldn't even remember how many fucking Batmans there've been. How many Batman movies? How many? I mean, I saw some website that like listed the top, that ranked all the Batman movies, from best to worst, and like a Lego Batman movie was on there, and it was just, I don't know. How many times do you have to reinvent the wheel? You know what I mean? Let's see here, buddy. Is it a bad thing? Let me see. Is it a bad thing if it is sort of a Christian movie, Mike? Personally, I don't mind these sorts of films. Even as a Muslim myself, I'm open to it. I don't think it's a bad thing. I guess what catches me off guard is sometimes, but I don't do research before I go to see a film. I like to go in cold. So sometimes when it's a movie, maybe they're not hiding it. It's just that I haven't done the research. I haven't paid attention to what I'm going into. I just like to go into the movies. So it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that. I did do a review a couple of years ago of one of these Christian films. I think it was the girl that saw heaven or something like that. It was actually pretty good. Let's see. I keep trying to find new things to watch and all that, but I keep watching the same stuff because, well, the internet is a toilet, an addicting toilet. Well, you can always watch Messier Mantra, producer Chris. That's a great show that I host, interviews with actresses, models, fight promoters, boxing promoters, MMA promoters. Chris Sparling, the screenwriter of Ryan Reynolds' film called Buried, is on there. On Messier Mantra, I got a whole playlist. You can watch Disregard the Vampire, Mike Messier documentary, Blood Sugar Sedase, my feature film. I don't know if you guys go around to my different playlists, but I've put a lot of time in organizing them. And of course, producer Chris, you can always pick up your copy of Fight or Play Basketball on Amazon. My book, a wonderful book, and also A Distance from Avalon, my other wonderful book, now available in hard copy. See, that's me and a cat. So what else? Ahmed's got another thing. I know this isn't a movie, but have you watched Midnight Mass on Netflix? No, I haven't. Is that the Michael Myers thing? Because a friend of mine just texted me, my friend Kim texted me that this Michael Myers new show is really good. I did start to watch on Amazon Prime the new Kids in the Hall. And when two of the guys did a total nude scene I turned the show off. 'Cause, no offense, but I just think that nudity for comedy, like to me, it's been done. I mean, I think Seth Rogen did it for a movie 10 years ago. Like the naked guy comedy bit has been done. And when I see the kids in the hall used to be real innovators. They used to be real, guys that were on the edge. And now they're just doing something, at least in that skit, that Seth Rogen did 10 years ago. So I didn't appreciate that. And I wasn't laughing anyway. And they were making references to themselves with the brain candy fiasco film. So anyway, I tried to watch the kids in the hall, didn't enjoy it. I'll tell you, gentlemen, I'll give you a preview because I'm going to do a separate video on this topic. I've recently been watching, and I've got through the whole first season of a good show beyond my own stuff called Heels. And Heels is a wrestling show. You might have heard about it, but not watched it. So it's on the Stars Network, and I was actually thought I was going to do some work on that show myself, and it kind of fell through. But I subscribed to Stars for 3 months, $5 a month, just to watch Heels. The first season was great, and another show, Young Rock, which I didn't really watch the first season, but I've watched most of the second season. Uh, that's pretty. It's funny, but I have some issues with Young Rock as a pro wrestling historian. There's a lot of stuff that's inaccurate, and I know that it's Hollywood, and you're trying to tell a story, not, write the history of professional wrestling. But I just felt like Young Rock is not to my liking. Ahmed says, yes, I agree. The nudity was kind of like a cheap pop. Yeah, man. And so I stopped watching that last night, the kids in the hall. I was happy to see them back, but I don't know, it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, so to speak. Well, gentlemen, it's been very exciting. Ahmed, congratulations on the newborn. I think you told us what you had before. Um, let's see. Oh, here we go. A baby boy, congratulations. Yeah, and I know that new parents, even fathers, although the mother is actually the one that births the child, but the father as well. You're probably very short on free time, so I appreciate you being here. And you can always subscribe your new son to the Mike Messier. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. But congratulations on the baby boy, man. Very exciting. Congratulations. Let's see. Yeah, we talked about that. The nudity was a cheap pop. And here we go. Well, thanks, Ahmed. Good to see you too, buddy. Congratulations, producer Chris. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. I think I'm going to sign off. But overall, Family Camp, a good movie. Not a great movie, but definitely watchable, definitely enjoyable. And I do recommend it. Okay, gentlemen. Good night.